This Matchday 18 picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog is hooking up new customers. Play just $5, get $75 in bonus funds. Sign up with the code PLGP. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday?
Tuesday.
What day?
Tuesday.
Oh, bollocks. It's a terrible start. Over 1.5 days out, lands early on. Tuesday, December the 23rd. We are here to look back on a very successful weekend of Premier League gambling that just finished yesterday. Little AFCON update, etc., as well as handicap the next full match day, which takes place from Boxing Day and the 2 days that follow that. Joining me and keeping me right from not somewhere in Nottingham. He's from, looks like his mother's conservatory, from somewhere on Tyneside. It's Mr. Barry Penaluna. Barry, hello, mate.
Indeed. I'm absolutely freezing in this conservatory. I just came on, I told you, I was absolutely Baltic. So I've put my hoodie on. I've put the heater on down there. So you might hear a heater whirring away, trying to put some warmth into this conservatory. The conservatory doesn't get used in the winter, apart from when I turn up and try and do a podcast, but it's a little bit chilly.
Well, yeah, conservatories are chilly, Baz. That's the problem. I'm hoping Santa might bring me some sort of little sort of heater thing that I need just to keep me me succulents, me tropicals, you know, me ornamental grasses and that at a decent temperature. Already tonight, Barry, in the last half an hour, the football betting gods have taken the piss right out of me. There was 2 matches on simultaneously tonight, so I had a bet on both of them, Barry. I bet both teams to score in Tunisia v Uganda. Which looked like Tunisia were cruising at 3-0. But it was 6-4, was a huge price. Put it out as a YouTube short. Tunisia cruising at 3-0. And then Uganda score an incredibly fortuitous 95th minute goal to cash the both teams to score. As I was still celebrating that, Crystal Palace equalise, which knackered up the bet builder I'd put on the Arsenal game of Arsenal to win, Arsenal most shots, Arsenal most corners at 5-2. So, you know, I was one of those, Barry. Give with one hand, take with the other. What you're going to do. But, yeah, it's been a good week of picks, mainly. I mean, we came off the Monday night win Bournemouth Man United, then swept the EFL, and then we'll get into the picks in a little bit. But, yeah, I did very well. You did very, very well. What's happening back in Newcastle? Is this you for a few days then, Bat?
Yes, I'm here till 27th maybe, just visiting family, having dinner with the family for a change. The first time in about 10 years we've spent Christmas in Newcastle as opposed to Nottingham. But now the kids have grown up and they're not worried about Santa turning up or anything like that. Then we can do what we want. So they've decided we'd come to Newcastle for a few days.
Very good. It's pretty bleak like Baz. Pretty grey and gloomy all over the place. Not always, I'm saying, just like
pretty similar down in Nottinghamshire, Malcolm, I'll be honest with you.
Fair enough. We'll go from top to bottom with the chat. There's loads of people here tonight. That's good. Smudger was first in. Squad number 9. How we doing? Joe Dollar was trying to get himself ejected from the chat before we'd even started. Callum, squad number 7. The Backus family are here moaning about you putting Morgan Rogers on the thumbnail, Barry. Once again, you've been in very scurrilous form, Barry, with the thumbnails recently. Danny Midler. Not the Magnum is here. Serial. Hello, mate. Bob D got that Uganda goal and the both teams to score. Well done, Bob. Oi, says James Mafia. Tom Crean, live. Excellent to see you. And Shane is back from New Zealand. I thought the disappointment Shane suffered of witnessing kick-off live might just have turned him off the live shows. But he's back. He's probably come back to see if it can actually be that bad. I had a fun few days, Baz. I stayed out after the match on Saturday, quite late actually. I was going to stay for like a couple of pints, about 3 o'clock. I looked at my phone, it was 11:10. So I don't know what happened there. Got myself full of lager and rum. Went out Sunday night up the high street with a few of the football dads, etc. Smashed the Christmas shopping this morning, Barry. My annual shopping trip in 2 hours. Did the majority of it in IKEA. My plan was, I'll just go in any shops I drive past. That was the plan. And it fucking worked, Barry. I came home laden and in no time at all. So, yeah, got the IT department a new putter, which I'll just use until she takes up golf. So that's covered that. I've got a mug update, Barry. A really important mug. This broke the other day on Twitter. I did tease it a little bit. Because Kev Matthews messaged me. A few people messaged with the state of their mug cupboard, the makeup of their mug cupboard. Kev Matthews messaged me. Kev Matthews is of the famous left his pub to go to Aldi and buy. Now, Barry, were they jammy Dodgers or custard creams? I can't remember.
I think they were jammy Dodgers.
I think they were Aldi own brand jammy Dodgers.
Yeah.
Can you look after me glasses? Yes. So Matthews messaged me. 30 mugs, right? However, this is where it all got very controversial. There's 8 Christmas mugs specifically for Christmas.
What? Like, do they stay in the cupboard all year?
No, they come out for Christmas.
Oh, they come out for Christmas. How many in the household?
4. So
That's
way over Dave's family members times 2 add to. What Matthews wasn't sure of was whether the 8 Christmas mugs had replaced 8 of the existing mugs. Do you know what I mean? Whether she's taken 8 out the rotation to put the 8 Christmas mugs in or not. So I said, listen, mate, we need to know this information. He then replied with 2. He said, I'm not doing it. He says, they're in the loft. She says, go and look in the loft. I'm not getting up in the loft. I said, I'd put it to the listeners. If the listeners demand to know, you're getting in the fucking loft. So that's where, so I've outed him. Kev refuses to go in the loft to a little bit of closure on this riddle, Barry, of the Christmas mug.
So she's potentially gone to the trouble of putting 8 mugs away in the loft.
We believe, Barry, there might be 8 regular January to November mugs in the loft.
Well, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Because you don't need 38 mugs in the cupboard, do you?
No, you wouldn't have thought. No, let me ask you the Swiss Family Robinson or whatever. It's a reference for the teenage. So there you go. Let me tell you what we'll do. This is going to take fucking ages, this show, Barry, by the way. Settle in, people. Get access to all of our free picks and podcasts in one convenient place. The SGPN app. Download it for free in your app store. Just type in SGPN. AFCON update. It's been a really good start. Our outright picks, we picked them to have a deep run. So you basically needed 3 points to qualify, possibly 4. But South Africa got off with a win. Lyle Foster scored. Have that, Smithy, told you. Congo won. Congo won today because for 20 minutes in the second half, VAR stopped working. Chancellor Member took the lace out the ball, but it wasn't working. All the shite, the electronics, the Bluetooth and all that. Bluetooth, I don't know. None of that's been working. It works when it wants. It's been chaos. So the big players have turned up. The big teams have turned up. Morocco were really good. El Kabi, the Olympiacos striker, scored that overhead Buddy Holly, which was great. Salah got a last-minute winner. Zambia, the Copper Bullets, by the way. What a nickname that is. The Copper Bullets got a last-minute equaliser the other day against Mali. But we've seen South Africa win. We've seen the Congo win. Tanzania ran Nigeria close today. Tunisia were all right today. Senegal were very good, but Botswana weren't up to much. Botswana goalkeeper saves. Keep an eye on in the next one. I'll try and remember myself and let people know. So AFCON's been good. South Africa and the BTTS YouTube shorts for the South Africa picks. 2 out of 2 the last 2 days. Premier League, I went 7-3, which was outstanding. Nice. Coming off a good week. Plus Dominic Calvert-Lewin, first goal. 6.5 to 1, wherever he was. 14.5 units back for my 10. Lock hit, which was Aston Villa. I went 2 for 3 on mistake in Stilton. Leeds and Fulham were 2 of them, although the third one was Everton. So that was the big price one. And this little fact isn't as important, Barry, because lots of my picks won. But the 3 losses, Barry, were ranked 4, 8, and 9. Do you remember I ranked them?
Yeah.
So the dog shit ones, number 10 won, which was that under 8.5 shots in Tottenham, Liverpool, the world's worst pick. Actually came in at 8 somehow. So 4, 8, and 9 lost. Everything else won. Yeah, and I think that was me. But Barry, 7 and 3 is good. But I think you outranked me, didn't you?
8 and 2. 8 and 2. I got off to a flying start. The one that let me down early on was the stupid pick of Wolves. I mean, who in the right mind was trusting Wolves to win a game? So at that point,
bloody hell.
I think there was a point where I was 7 and 1 with Wolves being the only loser, and I was sitting there thinking, if this Wolves pick costs me a 10-timer, I would have been absolutely furious.
What was your other loser?
It was Fulham Forest over 2.5 last night.
Oh, yeah, I had the same pick, actually.
Jimenez could have had 3 in the first half. He had more than enough chances to score more goals, but it wasn't a great one to finish off with. But yeah, 8 and 2 for me, like you. I hit my lock, Villa team total. I hit my scorer was Ekatike, and my call me Bayak, Arsenal, City, Villa, all to win. Came in at 3-1 as well. So yeah, really, really good week.
Excellent, very good. Eye catchers wise, Baz. There was 2 good games, actually, I wanted to talk about. I know people like us to talk about Newcastle, Chelsea. Just a good game. Disappointed, having been 2-0 up, that you've got to really win from that position. Doesn't matter who you're playing like. You get 2-0 up, you've got to win. My only thought was in the last 10 minutes, because I knew we were all going to the pub, I just didn't want to get beat because it would fucking ruin the day.
I got to that point where it was very much like, I'll take what we've got now.
I was like, in 15 minutes, I'm going to be in the pub with the lads. And it's either going to be good crack or it's going to be painful. So I just didn't want to get beat. Actually, like, Chelsea were weird because in the first, Chelsea did everything we've talked about. Like, in the first half, they play like the hair's on fire. They're absolutely ridiculous. And it is the usual suspect. No discipline. Joe hit the first pick Joe put out on the entire show last week. Was the card ladder. Chelsea finished on 6, I think. Game finished on 9. The line was 4.5. Giant card ladder Joe would have hit. No discipline. Old school Newcastle, pressing high, opposition shitting their pants. Big Dick Nick scored a couple of goals. I was pleased for him. But then Chelsea did something I didn't expect them to do and actually pulled themselves together. And they've got some good players still. That's my handicap of Chelsea nearly all the time. They've got some good players. Palmer was a little bit off it. I don't think he's fully tuned up. He's still good. Caicedo is magnificent. Like, I've told you that Bob's position, Bob plays in there. I heard Bob twice in the second half make an actual noise when Caicedo did something. Caicedo just like dropped the shoulder, turned around the corner, and I heard Bob go, oh. He fucking loved it. Like, so that was good. But my main take on that was, apart from the football, was the fucking officiating. And I wanted to here and say, this team have been hard done to. This team have been hard done to. Red cartel. None of that bollocks. Not the Newcastle rub. But VAR has, in fact, it's done 2 things. I mentioned last week at the Fulham game, because there was no VAR, it surprised me how my brain was now trained to not celebrate. Yep. When Wissa scored that goal, I thought Murphy might have been offside. There was no VAR. But my brain was still like, check the lino, check the ref looking for his ear, see what they go. And then at the weekend, the VAR's trained the referee to just not make a decision.
I've got this in my notes from the weekend. Same thing. I talked about this at the beginning of the season, Malcolm, and that's why I wanted to come back to it, because it's not just about Newcastle. Referees are literally...
It was noticeable because I watched it with my
decision. But the problem with that, the problem at the same time is VAR have now been told the bar is much higher, so you don't get involved unless you really, really have to. So now the referee's saying, I'll not make a decision because I'll get bailed out if I need to. And the VAR sitting there saying, oh, I don't want to fucking shit on him here, so I'll just leave it. But it was a prime example yesterday. That referee, that referee gave absolutely nothing. He didn't want to give anything, and he just thought he'd get bailed out, and he didn't get bailed out.
No.
I mean, the Reece James one at the end, the pull on Harvey Barnes. I know there's not a lot in it, but he brings his whistle to his mouth. I mean, he is fucking 10 yards behind it. He's in the best position.
Yeah.
He's 40 yards closer than the linesman is. He brings the whistle to his mouth to blow it up, looks at the linesman, and then he brings it back down. What's the fucking linesman said there? That's changed your opinion. Or who in your year has changed? Because he wanted to give it, and then he just decided, no, I'll not bother. And then,
this was the thing for me that he started, because the crowd were on his back about it, he started like making up new hand things, like new signals. We know what that's a fucking throw-in, that's a free kick. And he started making up new stuff just to let the crowd know he was checking with other people. So at that one, he was demonstrably, I'm going to look at the linesman. I'm pointing at the linesman. So you in the crowd, you sitting up there, I'm pointing at him. So you know I'm looking at him. And then when he doesn't give anything, I'm going to give him a double thumbs up so we can all see me knowing that they're just making fucking stuff up as they go along. And yet, what got me about that entire decision was Chelsea's free kick, really good free kick by Reece James, Lauren James's brother. The foul was Jacob Ramsey getting alongside Cole Palmer and momentarily linking his arm. The foul at the other end was Reece James momentarily getting alongside Harvey Barnes and briefly linking his arm. Like, it's the same offence. And he was looking at it. And you're right, the Gordon one's not even worth talking about because it's fucking assault, isn't it? And there was some other bits.
There was side to side, shoulder to shoulder, shielding, Malcolm, was what it was.
Yeah, is that a thing now?
Yeah, I don't know where that's come from. That was just a
made-up. Said those words in that order in the
That's
history
what I said
of
in the afternoon. I said, that's just a word salad. They've just come out with that to try and justify that they've fucked up again. But
and Garnacho's, that's a red card as well.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the Garnacho one, I think it's more dangerous than the Xavi Simons one the next day. Later that day. I think Garnacho's was worse. Garnacho's doesn't get looked at. The penalty on Gordon, they ruled that out by VAR within about 5 seconds. There was no big consultation. And then to the opposite extreme, Voldemort scores that goal. He's clearly, the first view, they showed on the screen, he's half a yard onside, and we fucking had to sit for 5 minutes for them to come up, because apparently the automated VAR wasn't working again. The automated offside was down for that 5 minute period.
Okay.
But it just shambles throughout. Absolute shambles.
Lent it to AFCON.
It was a good game. And there was a bit of Newcastle fans have gone a little bit nuts again, haven't they? They all fucking Eddie Howe out. I didn't think there was any disgrace in the result. I know you're 2-0 up and you should win. Chelsea came out and played well second half. Yeah. And actually, it wasn't like Newcastle just sat back because they would get accused of that often. Newcastle didn't do a huge amount wrong. You've got a free kick that was unstoppable, and then an unpredictable fucking slip from Malik Chow. But it wasn't a disaster like some people are making out like.
These fuckers in the chat are making out as if we're moaning on that Newcastle didn't win. We're not at all. We've just said, knobheads, that it was a perfectly good game of Premier League football. I very much enjoyed it. It could have gone either way. Chelsea played well. Chelsea got some good players. Well, just so happened that all these things that's wrong with officiating, which I think you'd all agree with, just happened in front of my very eyeballs on Saturday. And I saw them. And I'm talking about them. Right? Now to do with where the points went, who won who, so you can all fuck off.
The worst thing about it is at the moment, and it's gone for years, is fans can't just agree with the fact referees are shit. Because in that decision, Chelsea fans will come out and say that's not a penalty. And the next day, Arsenal fans will say that's not a penalty against Everton, and Everton fans. If all fans just come out and say this is fucking shit, referees are shit, VAR is shit. But every week there's a group of fans that just have to, without any regard for what actually happened, just disagree because it went in their favour. Sometimes when it goes in their favour,
the managers don't help. Because they asked Maresca, all right, Enzo, think that was a penalty. Nah, was it? Fuck. Definitely. I agree with the referee said. So what's the point? Like, why did you just say, he fucked it up? We got away with it.
While we're on the subject of referees, I thought the Xavi Simons one, I thought was fucking soft.
Absolutely.
But the Ekatike goal, right? And don't get me wrong, I knew the second that goal went in, they would not disallow it. But it's just become normalised, hasn't it? That you can go in to someone's back, two-handed, push them in the back, and get a goal. And Newcastle have scored goals like that they probably shouldn't have gone. It's a foul, isn't it? In my eyes, it's the Ekitike pushing in the back.
Oh, I'd had about 7 rum and cokes by then and 5
like,
pints.
I don't know. I just think it's become normal in the Premier League now that when you jump for the ball, the attacker can push the defender a reasonable amount, enough to put them off balance, and it'll be a goal. And the commentators will sit and say, there's not enough there. Well, there's enough for him to give himself an extra yard and to push the other bloke away. It shouldn't be. I just don't know how we've got to the point now where these... Because if that happened on the keeper, that Ekitike had pushed the keeper, it would have been a foul. If he does it with Romero, you can get away with it. That doesn't... You can't blow on a fucking keeper without giving a foul away. But on a defender now, you can have 2 hands in the back, shove him out the way and crack on. It's fine. Bizarre.
It's all bollocks. El Kamali's here and he wants us to get on with the picks. But well, that's how I'd use for you. Got another 5 or 6 minutes of this bollocks, yeah. So yeah, Newcastle was all right. Villa Man United was just talking about good games. That's what Villa Man United was a good game. I locked it up, took it. Villa a good price. It was good. Man United played quite well. We're probably unfortunate that Villa scored first, got back in it. There was nothing in that game at all. But Villa are coming out on the right side of absolutely everything. We'll get to Man United in a moment or two because they're in the first game of this slate. And I thought Leeds were the only other team that stood out. Just because they're giving themselves a chance, Baz, by taking advantage of good spots. So at home, against teams that should be beaten, or when they're getting a good spot, like Palace were there for the taking, they've gone for it. And when the last couple of years, the relegation teams have just been non-competitive. Obviously, Sunderland's not ideal, but they're going to be fine. And Leeds, I thought, were worthy of a mention, because that's a 4-1 home win. And we didn't see any of that last year from Southampton, Leicester, whoever it was. So, yeah, Leeds. I think the rest of it was all pretty standard fare, I think, Baz.
Yeah, we better crack on, haven't we? We've got 10 picks to get through.
We better crack on. We've got 10 picks to get through, Baz. You all right? Let me read. I'll tell you about these lovely people first, Barry. Kalshi, partnered up with Kalshi, a real money prediction market, legal in all 50 states. You can trade tons of markets, including NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL. Tons of other markets, including politics, entertainment, even the weather. You can trade anything at Kalshi. New Kalshi customers get $20 when they use promo code SGPN. Kalshi, Kalshi, promo code SGPN. And Underdog is your home for pick 'em entries. You can win up to 5,000 times your money. Underdog has got you covered this holiday season with Underdog Unwrapped. Brand new offer here at Underdog. Play $5, get $75 in bonus funds. Sign up with the code PLGP. Okay. First game is Boxing Day, which is... fuck knows. I don't know what day it is, Barry. Hang on. Friday, 26th of December, 8 o'clock, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Manchester United take on Newcastle United. Man United are 29-20, plus 145. 13-5, the draw, plus 260. Newcastle, 13-8, plus 162. I mean, it's horrible time. The only good thing about this kickoff time is that Boxing Day is not going to be ruined till 10 o'clock at night, rather than 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we've got to endure the rest of it, sitting talking to my mother, having lost at Man United. So at least it's going to be 10 o'clock and I can ignore everyone by the time we get beat. It looked to me like a clear WTF. However, I mean, you can't take Man United. 1 win in 4, which was against Wolves, which we don't count. Did play well against Villa, but they're now missing Bruno Fernandes, which is massive for them, as well as Masraoui and Mbeumo Ahmed. They've done okay at home, 4 wins from 8. They beat Sunderland, they beat Chelsea, they beat Brighton. So similar kind of levels of opposition. Unfortunately, away Newcastle have to be classed totally different to home Newcastle. You have to now separate the two teams. They're just two different teams. Away Newcastle at a dog shit, 1-1, drawn 3, lost 4. Find all kinds of ways to get beat. So to save bringing the mush into play and taking Newcastle outright, we're on a big old run of both teams to score over 2.5. In fact, both teams, are on a big old run. of both teams to score and over 2.5. If it's not broke, don't fix it. I keep picking it. It keeps winning. 5 to 6 minus 120 BTTS over 2.5.
Yeah, I understand why you'd be down on Newcastle given the away form. I think the performance has recently been okay. And Newcastle have seemed to have the measure of Man United in recent seasons. They've won 5 of the last 6 head-to-heads, including both last season as well. The problem is the Newcastle's away form, and the overall form is patchy as well, with 2 wins, 3 draws, 1 loss in the last 6 games. 1 defeat in the last 6 games. It feels like it's been worse than that because the 1 loss was Sunderland and 3 draws were games that we all should have been coming away with a win. No clean sheet in 10 games for Newcastle now, which feeds into your both teams to score, so I don't mind that at all. But Man United's form's no better than Newcastle's. They've got just 2 wins in 8 league games, Wolves and Palace being the 2 games, so Wolves don't count. So that's 1 win, really. But a whole load of mediocre results around that for Man United. As you say, lots and lots of players missing. Bruno Fernandes will make a big difference, him not being there. Newcastle's underdogs were tempting. The results haven't been great, but with the exception of the Sunderland game, I think we played all right. But with a decent price for Newcastle comes a decent price for goals. And a pick I've liked quite often against Man United recently. I cashed it in the Villa game the other day. I like it again. Yeah, Newcastle to score 2 or more. It covers the situation where we go and do something stupid at the other end. But Newcastle to score 2 or more, 6 to 5 plus 120.
There's loads of people here. Every conflicting pick points towards the Desmond here. Newcastle first goal for Joe. Kamali's got Newcastle draw, no bet. Newcastle money line for Shane. Newcastle team total for Lee. Man United team total for Festive. So there's your 2 all draw. Michael has indeed just gone for the straight out Desmond. Cunha anytime. More Newcastle team totals from Serial. Courtney or Patrick is going to put their Newcastle shirt on if Man United get beat. So that's something to look forward to. So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, all the picks there are telling you the range of options are in play. But the all points were both teams to score over 2.5, which is what I picked. You lot are all messing about with other shit. So we'll sort that out. Right, Saturday, we start at lunchtime, 12:30. Nottingham Forest take on Manchester City. That is 7:30 Eastern Time. Forest 21 to 4 plus 425. 16 to 5 the draw plus 320. Man City 11 to 20 minus 175. Barry.
Yeah, City have hit a nice run of fixtures lately, and it's led to a nice run of form. Haven't seen them win 7 in a row in all competitions, 5 in a row in the league, and they've scored 17 goals in those 5 games recently as well. They've scored at least 3 in all 5, and they've scored at least 3 in 7 of the last 8 in the league now. So full of goals. Forest have been alternating wins and losses for 6 games now. And the stat that stood out for Forest is both teams to score no is hit in 6 straight games. So they either win to 0 or lose to 0 every week. And going back further, it's hitting 10 of their last 12 games, both teams to score no, which is quite astonishing. You can still get that at plus money as well, 11 to 10. And you wouldn't put it past City winning this to 0, which they've done in 3 straight games. City have kept 3 clean sheets in a row now. You can get City to win to 0 at 2 to 1, which almost appealed to me. But the pick to me just goes back to the City goals angle. Whilst they keep hitting 3 goals week in, week out, I'll keep taking it at these prices. I got a short price against West Ham. I took them at 8 to 11 to score 3 or more. 7 to 4 here for City to score 3 goals. They're doing it every week. City team total over 2.5, 7 to 4 plus 175.
I'm still not really having Forest under Dyche. The wins against Fulham, they were rubbish against Fulham. The wins against Tottenham and Wolves don't represent solid form to me. Games against top half teams, 1 draw and 3 defeats so far this season. Man City 3-0 wins in a row, scoring millions. But I just prefer Man City on the handicap to a team total here. And it's a fucking massive price. It's 6 to 4 plus 150. I mean, Fef reckons Forest to do is spanking, which is just instinct there. Little bet builder there, actually. Nico Williams, 1 foul, and Cherky to be fouled twice. at 11 to 8. Get your Christmas turkey bets on. Hey, come on, Baz. Just thought of that. Hey,
And
come on.
what about Pep? He's going to weigh them all in on Christmas Day. Isn't he? He's weighed them out. He's weighed them all out the other day. He's sent them off for their Christmas dinner, and he's going to weigh them in on Saturday morning to see which one gets called a fat cunt. That was Kevin Phillips a few years ago, wasn't he? Calvin Phillips.
He never played again. Where is he? What happened to him? Was he still at Ipswich?
I think so, yeah, probably.
Rolling about the midfield. 2-0 for City, says Michael. That'll fit me. So, yeah, it was the price. There were two things, the price, and I do think Man City, you're just going to get them.
I think the price brought everything into play. Like you say, you were excited about your 6-4 for the handicap. I thought 7-4 was massive for a pick that's hitting every week as well. So it does open up a lot of options this week.
I forgot to tell you, Baz, on Saturday at the match, I saw somebody wearing a "How's the Pigs in Blankets, did you say?" Steve Bruce jumper, which was absolute quality. Steve Bruce, Santa hat on. "How's the Pigs in Blankets, did you say?" That's a bit of an in-joke. Newcastle people will get it. But I took a photo of him at half-time. He thought I was a mentalist, so I just ignored him after that. 3 o'clock kickoffs. There are. You ready, Courtney? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. Ooh. 5 3 o'clocks. That's good for a coupon. Everyone get an old-fashioned coupon out on Saturday. Arsenal taking on Brighton and Hove Albion. Arsenal 2-5, minus 250. 7-2 the draw. Brighton 13-2. Easy this, Barry. Stopped very, very quickly. Arsenal 1-1 tonight. Own goal on 80 minutes, and then a Palace equaliser on 95. 1-0 with a pen at the weekend. 2-1 against Wolves with 2 OGs. So 3 of their last 5 you can add on tonight. I'll add on tonight because it helps me out. So 4 of the last 6 under 2.5 goals. 3 in a row for Brighton. 5 of 7 for Brighton. Under 2.5 goals. They've stopped scoring. That dog shit 0-0 at the weekend against Sunderland. The price is too big. It's odds against. It's 6-5 plus 120. The under 2.5. Oh, I don't. Again, fuck knows what Brighton are up to now. Agents of Chaos is suddenly we'll play a 0-0 draw every week. Lost their identity. Who knows? Arsenal beat them 1 or 2-0. 6-5 plus 120 under 2.5 goals.
Now we've come at this from a completely different angle. Complete opposites, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure what to make of Arsenal in recent weeks. As you say, you've covered the games where they've made hard work in recent weeks. Wolves, Everton, Palace tonight. There was the Villa game where they lost as well. So I still think there is a chink in the armour of Arsenal. And I think Brighton are a better side than they've faced in those last few games. And I just think it's a type of game where Brighton can pull off an upset. They do it in these big games. I know they've been shite for a couple of weeks, but as you know, Brighton could turn out and be absolutely amazing on Saturday, just out of the blue. They've already beaten Chelsea and City this season. And as I say, they just seem to dig out results in these games. They drew 1-1 with Arsenal twice last season. Arsenal didn't beat them over the 2 games. The problem is the last few weeks they have been poor. 2 wins, 2 draws. So hard to back them as a winner with too much confidence. As I say, they picked up 2 draws in the head-to-heads. I could see something similar. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go against it under 2.5. I think a 1-1 could be on the cards here, similar to the 2 games last season. The Arsenal defence hasn't been as formidable recently as it was early in the season. 2 clean sheets in the last 7. That's 2 clean sheets in the last 8 after tonight. They had 5 in the previous 7 before that. So they have sort of regressed a little bit defensively. I couldn't get to Brighton as a pick, but I think they'll score, and I think they'll keep it close. Both teams to score, 10-11 is going to be my pick. So the 1-1 will see us both land a winner.
Okay, fair enough. Joe likes Arsenal corners. And Arsenal to winning under 3.5 goals, which does stand out because that hits a lot. Okay. Next is Brentford taking on Bournemouth. Brentford 5-4 plus 125. 13-5 the draw plus 260. And Bournemouth 2-1. Baz.
Yeah, I thought this was a horrible one. Both teams stinking the place out lately. Brentford did pick up a win last week against Wolves. breaking a 4-game winless streak. Bournemouth, meanwhile, stretched their winless streak to 8 games after failing to beat Burnley at the weekend. And I think at this current point, you can't really back Bournemouth, even as 2-1 dogs, in a game which on paper should be a close matchup. In fact, going back to the first few weeks of the season, you'd expect Bournemouth to possibly be favourites coming into this. And so two teams in poor form. I just felt like the home side were a team I could trust a bit more, rather than an away team who haven't won in 8. They've only lost 1 at home all season as well, Brentford. City beat them 1-0. So other than City, they've only lost that one, and they've beaten decent teams. Liverpool, Newcastle, Man United have all went there and lost this season. Pick for me, it's got to be Brentford money line 5-4.
Totally on the opposite side, Baz. A lot of gut in this actually for me. I just think Bournemouth are better than Brentford. At the end of the day, to shake it all out, Bournemouth are better than Brentford. We're getting 2-1. They have been good at home, won 5 of 8, but the last one was that 1-1 draw with Leeds, which wasn't great. The win at Wolves doesn't count. But Bournemouth have gone to shite. 1-1 v Burnley last time was poor. That was the last man standing killer for a lot of teams, Barry. Luckily, I forgot to put my picks in. So I was going to pick Bournemouth, got away with it, and was given a life there. So that's a result.
Well, you weren't, because I put your Bournemouth in for you.
No, but we had 2 lives left, didn't we? We had 2 entries. You put one Man City.
Man City, yeah. I tried to help you out. Obviously, I could have. Yeah. Had I left it, you would have had 2 on Villa. But I thought I was doing you a favour by bailing you out. So we got you 1 through. That was the main thing. You need to make sure you make your pick this week.
I've already done it. Can't remember the pick I took now. Not interesting, is it? I'm going to find it. Hang on. See, Villa, Sunderland, Forest, Arsenal, Brighton. I can't remember who it is, but recent games away from home. Bournemouth scored 4 at Man United, 2 at Sunderland. They scored 2 at Leeds and 3 at Palace in games before that. So I looked at the Bournemouth team total over 1.5, but it's really short. It's 11-8 plus 137. And I thought if I want that, I might as well just take them to win. They're going to score twice. I stand a fair chance of them winning at a much bigger price. And like I said, ultimately, I just think Bournemouth are a better team. There's some manual things probably not helping. Every time I get a notification of TalkSport every half an hour that he's agreed to deal with somebody else. He's been 5 times in the last 2 days. But yeah, Bournemouth at 2-1, Baz. Totally on the opposite side of that. It's the 1-1 draw of the week, according to Serial. Serial is a very shrewd man. Have you told Serial that you went 10-3 on your NFL picks this week, Baz?
Sorry, 13-3.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
13-3 against the spread. SGPN champion for week 16 picks on the NFL Award.
SGPN Employee of the Week, which carries quite a hefty cash bonus, might I add, that Barry is refusing to share with me. Just like if everyone would like to wear
$100 cash bonus for being the best NFL pickster this week.
What sort of company is this we work for, where you get a $100 cash bonus for picking the most NFL? It's fucking great, isn't it? Oh, shit. We probably shouldn't have said that. The tax man will laugh him or something. But we're brought to you by Novig. I haven't read this yet, have I? America's #1 sports prediction market. You get the best prices. Download the Novig app, get $50, spend $5. Use the promo code SGPN on Novig. And Rhythm has crushed the NFL season. College basketball is up and running. Rhythm's got predictions for every game, which pairs beautifully with the daily college experience. Shows, use the promo code SGPN25. Download Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm, use promo code SGPN25. Next to the 3 o'clock sees Burnley take on Everton. Burnley are 31-10 plus 310. 12-5 the draw plus 240. Everton 19-20 minus 105. Burnley picked up their first point in 8 games with a 1-1 at Bournemouth. That does not make me want to bet on them any more than I did previously. Everton competed well against Arsenal. There's another VAR decision, by the way. Well, the Fulham penalty last night in the Everton-Arsenal one. Spot the difference?
That's bizarre. Aye. Exactly the same thing.
It's the same, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly the same. Like, there's not enough contact. How hard do you want him to kick him? I don't mind. Actually, neither of them being penalties. Oh, I'm sick of talking about it. Absolute bollocks. So if that gets given, and was it Branthwaite? No, O'Brien. Somebody did that silly handball. 2 away games before. So Everton, competed against Arsenal. They were outclassed really against Chelsea. But the 2 away games before that, they won at Bournemouth and they won at Man United. And that form line's good enough. I would prefer a bigger price. It sounds obvious to say that because everyone would prefer a bigger price about everything. Betting Everton at slight odds on away from home doesn't seem like the most sensible long-term idea. But I'm not doing it long-term. I'm doing it 5-5 on Saturday. I'll take Everton to win, Baz.
Yeah, no winning 8 for Burnley, though they did stop a 7-game losing streak. So, every cloud, silver lining and that. Early in the season, I thought Burnley might chip away at picking up some points, particularly at home, but it's not really been the case. They've only got 1 win in the last 8 home games as well, and they've just lost 4 in a row, 3 of them without registering a goal. So the home form doesn't mean anything for Burnley either. Everton's form is patchy, 3 wins, 3 losses in the last 6 games. But the defeats have come against half-decent sides in Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle. This one just looks like the sort of game they'll go and win. Both teams to score no has got good form for Everton, like Forest. 6 of the last 7 Everton games have seen a clean sheet one way or the other. If you were going to get a clean sheet here, you'd put it on Everton keeping the clean sheet rather than Burnley, though. 6 of the last 8 went under 2.5 goals for Everton as well. But I've stayed away from the goals market. I'm happy to keep taking on Burnley. And Everton, I think, will find a way here. Everton to win, money line at 19-20.
First one of the night. Not be breaking the record tonight, Buzz. Just going back to the Newcastle match, Tom Cream, Iceman. Ugarte to get a yellow card if he does play. Because A, he's a lunatic. And B, anytime Bruno G comes up against any kind of South American, he fucking hates them. He'd fight anybody. Any Argentinian or whatever. Ugarte is a Uruguayan, isn't he? But anyway, that's near enough for Bruno. Joe Linton, if he gets on the pitch, will get involved in well. So yeah,
did I say a stat the other day about Ugarte? He's lost his last 9 starts with Man United or something like that. There was something ridiculous like that. He's got I'm sure it was him. It was a stat about when Ugarte plays, Man United always lose, basically. So
he's as slow as a week in prison. I'll give him that. Is this a 3 o'clock kickoff? Liverpool. Ooh. Yes, I want to remain logged in. 3 o'clock is Liverpool taking on Wolverhampton Wanderers. Liverpool 1-5, minus 500. 11-2, the draw plus 550. Wolves are 10-1. This is you, Baz.
Yeah, Liverpool big short price favourites here, but with good reason. Not for their own form, but just purely on Wolves' form. Although Liverpool have got back on track a bit. They're 6 unbeaten now, 3 wins in a row as well. And I still think they're miles off the levels from last season. We know they're missing a few players at the minute with injuries and AFCON, etc. But some of that might help. That big lump up top being injured might help them because Ep.334 looks a much better option. And now he has to play every week. And I think that'll be better for Liverpool, having someone that can play and score goals and look dangerous every time he plays. So Ep.334, I took from his scorer last week. I think he'll be a shoe-in to start week in, week out now and might help them. Wolves have now lost 10 league games in a row, 7 of them without scoring. Away from home, they've only scored 2 goals all season. So I landed on a pick that wouldn't usually be one I would take in a Liverpool game because defensively they haven't been great. But it's Liverpool to win to 0 because Wolves just haven't got any goals in them. And even when they get a penalty the other day and Strand Larson stands on the spot, it just looked like he wasn't going to score whilst he was waiting to take it. It just didn't look like he believed he could score. Liverpool have kept 3 clean sheets in the last 6 games as well. So defensively, they've been a little bit better. They don't even need to be that good to keep Wolves out. Liverpool win to 0, even money.
Similar, Baz. I took Liverpool on the handicap. It was boring. They are doing better. Back-to-back wins against Tottenham and Brighton. You can throw Inter in there And that form line's plenty good enough to win this. Now, Wolves' last two away performance haven't been too bad. This is the thing. And I watched the Rob Edwards pre-match press conference today, and he just says they're feeling the pressure at home. He said the atmosphere is fucking toxic. Away from home, they can relax a little bit more. And you can see that in that performance at the Emirates. And it was Villa 1-0, I think, before that. So they're a little bit happier away from home. Liverpool to win both halves is attractive. 6-4 plus 150. But like I say, Wolves have been a little bit lively. But ultimately, I just prefer Liverpool on the handicap. Wirtz, I think, is going to take advantage of Salah not being there. And like I say, Ekatike up front. He'll be fine. So Liverpool -1.5, -2 on the Asians is 5-6, -120. Not big or clever pick, but I just think they'll end up, they'll win 3-0 or what have you. Shane's gone for Wirtz to score, which I just outlined my thinking on Wirtz. 3 o'clock is West Ham United against Fulham. West Ham United are 17-10 plus 170. The draw 12-5 plus 240. And Fulham are 31-20 plus 155. One of the first things I wanted to say about West Ham was that Fulkrug is off to AC Milan. And I picked him for all sorts of fucking things. One of the worst picks. I think we need to try and track the worst picks of the year because we never write them down. But I was bullish on him. He was a centre forward. He looked like a Premier League centre forward at number 9. I thought with wingers and he just never got fit, never looked anything. He scored goals for Germany, lots of them. Scored anyway. So dog shit that was. That's the end of that. This match came down to one team being the one that I haven't wanted to bet on for ages against a team that I feel like I can make money on. West Ham no winning 6. 1-2, lost 6 at home. Lost at home v Brentford and Tottenham. Brentford and Tottenham are the two teams immediately above and below Fulham. So there's a beautiful little crystal clear horse racing form line if you want one. Fulham have won 2 in a row. They've won 5 of the last 7. And they do the majority of their winning in these spots. They've played 7 games against teams in the bottom 9. Won 6, drawn 1. Can't knock that record at all. I've been following Fulham. I kind of felt obliged. I've won on them a few weeks in a row. Happy to take Fulham at 31-20 plus 155. But
yeah, I could have absolutely read your handicap from start to finish beforehand, and I've gone completely the opposite way. But I knew, and I'll explain why. So no winning 6 for West Ham after defeats to City and Villa. Fulham have just won back-to-back games against Burnley and Forest. Both games just by a single goal, though. And I just think I'm in opposite camps to you on both teams, and I've been for a few weeks. I think West Ham will be okay. I think they'll chip away and get points. I know you're completely out on them. And similarly, I've not been a big fan of Fulham. I haven't been that impressed. Anytime I've watched them, I haven't been that. I don't think they were very good against Forest the other day. Whereas I know you're quite positive on them. I did think it's a tricky game and a tricky game to come up with a pick from. But I thought West Ham's recent drop off, because they did have a little bit of a sort of brighter patch about a month ago. The drop off has coincided with a tough run of games. The 3 defeats in the last 6 games have come against City, Villa, and Liverpool. It was purely a hunch, this one, but I think West Ham will go okay here. I'm not taking them to win, but I think they'll score a couple. At home, they've recently put 2 past Villa, 3 past Burnley, 3 past Newcastle, and Fulham haven't had a clean sheet away from home all season. Fulham have also conceded 2 or more in 6 of their last 7 away games. So if Fulham's away form, they're shipping goals in. And West Ham have shown quite recently that they can put goals past teams. I'm going to take the West Ham team total over 1.5 at 5-4.
Yeah, I think the majority of the chat, Barry's on your side rather than me. Serial wants West Ham. Bootle, is that Bootle? I think he's gone for the Desmond. Yeah. Bootle, how you doing? Smudge has gone for the draw. Fefwef says to fade Fulham. So, yeah, I get it. Most people are on your side rather than my side. Barry, the game that is gripping the southernmost tip of this planet, New Zealand is absolutely enraptured by kick-off, Barry. We have just ticked past the midway point of the second half. I'm going to be honest with you, Baz. The momentum that I garnered at the start of the second half, I think you've taken the sting out of me a little bit. Like, I need to make a few changes. I needed that equaliser earlier on. You just seem to have wrestled back a little bit of control, Barry. Barry does lead 2-1 for anyone who's been under a rock since we started playing this last March or whatever the fuck it was. The ball, Barry, is on A1, so just over the halfway line in your half, and it's your turn. What you got?
What have I got? I am going to go... Oof. Fucking not a lot of options here. I'm just going to hoof it forward 5.
Straight forward 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. I might have to come back in field here, Baz. Oh, it's not a bad card, you know. Yeah. That's Kevin Keegan, that Baz, by the way. I'm going to go forward 3, infield 3. 1, 2, 3. So 2 spots over halfway. Slightly more infield. We are in the red half of the pitch, everybody. In square number B4. That's B4. Thanks, everyone. I'm sure you all enjoyed that very much. Next game on the card is the tea time game. What fucking square is that in B4? Don't want to lose that, Baz. Sorry. Tea time on Saturday, 5:30 kickoff. It's Chelsea against Aston Villa. Chelsea 5-6, -120. 14-5, the draw, +280. Villa 29-10, +290. Baz, come on, what you got?
I thought, it looks the pick of the games in this round. Looks a good matchup. And I got to a pick really, really quickly because I just couldn't believe Villa. You can get 3-1 some places for Villa. They've just won 10 in a row. Now, they have had a nice run of fixtures, but they've also beaten Arsenal and Man City this season. Arsenal was away from home as well. And Chelsea aren't winning many. They've just won 1 in their last 5. And the home form for Chelsea, they've won 4 of 8. So 50% hit rate at home this season in the league. I just can't see any reason why Villa wouldn't appeal here as a dog at 3-1. Or double chance, 10-11. That's where I've ended up. I played a little bit safer, but double chance. I just don't see Villa losing this one in their current form. 10-11 for them not to lose to Chelsea just looks like a really, really nice price. So, Villa win or draw, 10-11.
I thought exactly the same, Barry. Regardless of the result, as a punter, the price on Villa is too big. So, happily lose them. If Chelsea beat them, perfectly reasonable. Manchester United could have beat them at the weekend. Arsenal could also have beat them a couple of weeks ago. West Ham could have beat them. You know what I mean? But at this price, that they're playing them, it's too big. Chelsea, 3 draws in the last 5. So they're not in stunning form. They've only won 4 of 8 at home. So odds on against a team who was 7 points ahead of them just doesn't seem like a prudent course of action. Like, here's a stat, Baz. Chelsea have played 6 of the top 9 and won once. And you want to take 5-6 against a team 7 points ahead of them. I think you'd have to be nuts. 7 in a row for Villa, 11 of 12. If this is a bridge too far, then they owe us nothing. I reckon we probably had them 9 or 10 out of those 11 weeks at all kinds of prices. If they win, we'll be talking about them as title contenders. We'll be looking at the league table after this. Thought about taking the double chance, but then I thought, don't be a fanny. We'll take Aston Villa at 3-1. Double chance for Shane. Not calling you a fanny, Shane, obviously. Shane has pretended he's enjoyed kick-off a lot more this week, which is very kind of over 2 cards for Villa. Smithy's talking about Chelsea playing like the hair's on fire, which is what we talked about at the top of the show. John McGinn and Cucurella to kick lumps out of each other. Chelsea team total for Serial, so Serial's kind of on the other side. BTTS for Bootle. So, a bit of a mixed bag in that, but there's enough people fancy Chelsea at that underdog price. Sunday, the 28th of December, 2 o'clock kickoff. which is 7 a.m., 9 a.m. even, Eastern Time. Sunderland take on Leeds United. Sunderland 6-4 plus 150. The draw 21-10 plus 210. Leeds 15-8 plus 187. Sunderland are not really an attractive betting proposition. 2 wins in 8, and they've stopped scoring. They've got 1 goal to the name in the last 3 games, which was scored by Nick Waldemar, unfortunately for us. Leeds form, 4-1 against Palace at the weekend, which was an excellent spot for them. But like I just said, they took advantage. Win against Chelsea, draw against Liverpool. So form line's decent. Everything conflicted in the stats. The over and unders conflicted. The both teams to score conflicted for both teams. And then Sunderland's home form against Leeds away form as well was conflicting. So that kind of goes against the pick. But Leeds did okay at Brentford in the last away game. Brentford have been really good at home. I think Leeds were probably the better team. Should have scored first. Finished 1-1. I'm having a pop at Leeds, Baz. Sunderland haven't looked like scoring. Remember, this AFCON thing has to be affecting him. Like, I watched Sadiq play this afternoon for, was it Benin, I think? But anyway, they're missing a fucking ton of players. I went through the minutes the other day. I'm a Leeds 15-8, Baz.
Yeah, like it. I mean, I thought this might very well be the point where Sunderland do lose a game at home. I know their home form's still good, still unbeaten, but overall, they haven't been great recently. 2 wins in 8 games. Their only goal in the last 3 games was the own goal scored by Newcastle. And I do just feel like a lack of firepower is going to cost them eventually. And Leeds are hitting some form. They're unbeaten in 4. They scored 4 against Palace and 3 against each of Chelsea. 3 versus Chelsea and also 2 past City. Not failed to score in 8 league games as well now, Leeds. So it's that attacking form that's got me favouring them here, because 1 goal might be enough. 2 goals would almost certainly be enough. And I just think Leeds are in a better vein of form at the moment. They've got some confidence in attack. So, yeah, I like Leeds to win this at 15-8.
Leeds draw no bet for serial.
Not Ray gunning that. No.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what happened?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying any attention to you, Baz. I was reading the comments. I'll tell you what, sorry. Under on the first half goals for Bootle. And we've got a new face in here, Talk Fan TV, with a little Cherries badge, Bournemouth Talk Fan TV. Says 3-1 Bournemouth. Yes, first, welcome along. And second, I picked Bournemouth earlier on. You were on the other side, weren't you, Baz?
I've got Brentford 4-2 or more, yeah.
But yeah, Bournemouth at 2-1.
I can't remember what I took now. It's a long time ago.
A decent price. I'll tell you what now, Barry, it's competition time. I've just decided this. We've got 1 game left before we'll do the exotics and we'll get Data Dave involved. But I asked Data Dave, Barry, what year was the best Christmas? So anyone who's live, if you want to, you can have 1 guess. There'll be quite a large cash prize if you get it spot on. So what year was the best Christmas is the Data Dave challenge. Final game here is on Sunday afternoon, 4:30 kickoff. Crystal Palace take on Tottenham Hotspur. Palace 5-4 plus 125. The draw is 9-4 plus 225, and Tottenham are 11-5 plus 220, Baz.
Yeah. Spurs in horrible form. 1 win in 8 league games recently, and no win in 4 away games now as well. Conceded at least twice in each of those last 4 away games, losing 3-0 last time out at Forest. Now, Palace have just lost 2 in a row, lost again tonight in the Cup as well, and well beaten at Leeds at the weekend. This game really could be anything. And to be fair, that's usually the case wherever Spurs are involved. But the easy route for me for a pick had to be in the goals market. Spurs' last 7 league games have all went over 2.5 goals. 4 of the last 5 for Palace have went over 2.5 goals. And I was just surprised that the overs wasn't a little bit shorter here. Spurs would be missing one of their strongest defenders in Romero. I was just, as I say, surprised it wasn't short. I'm going to take the over 2.5 goals here. Plenty of form for it for both sides. Over 2.5 at 10-11.
You've taken my notes and you've taken my handicap, Baz. So took Palace to get humped last time. They did. We had them firmly on the no bet list in that spot, and we were correct to do so, just because there's a few things not right. But one of the few teams I wouldn't take them on with, or one of the few teams I wouldn't take anybody on with, is Spurs. There's probably 3 teams in this entire division that I wouldn't take on Palace with at the minute. But unfortunately, one of them Spurs, because no one knows what they're up to. They're so unreliable, it's near impossible. But you hit the juicy stats, Spaz. 6 or 7 over 2.5 for Tottenham. 4 or 5 over 2.5 for Palace. And the price is bigger to the over. Over 2.5, I've got that down at even money. There's a couple of brutal reckons Tottenham might get there. Palace played tonight, obviously, was it 3 games in 6 days? They played Chris Richards. They didn't have anyone playing at right wing back today. Munoz has gone. Klein was benched. Chris Richards, who's a centre-back, played right wing back. Chris Richards cut his foot with an really odd injury, like really sliced open. The top of his boot was pissing blood out of it. It's like some sort of weird little like 6th form horror project. So I think he'll be too. So there's a couple of wobbles in Palace, which is why they're on my no bet list. But that just leads us towards goals. Done. 10 games in the hutch, Barry. We have just clocked over the hour mark. Exotics, that's the word I'm looking for. We'll start with Data Dave. The guesses are flying in for what was the best Christmas. We've had 2 now, Barry. 2 guesses. Data Dave had a winner last week. He tailed me on Manchester City -2, so he's back. He's taken a riskier, Baz, and he's tailed you, kind of. And he's gone with a Brighton double chance. So Data Dave's normally quite chalky, but his model is giving this a 62% chance. Arsenal are conceding more high-quality chances than the table suggests, and Brighton have an elite press resistance. What the fuck that means. So anyway, Brighton double chance for Data Dave. I'll take Man City on the handicap as my lock at 6-4. I do think Forest are going to get mangled. Dog, I've got 4 to choose from. I don't think I actually chose one. Let's go with Aston Villa. It's got to be Villa at 3-1. Corned beef pie accumulator is Manchester City to win and Liverpool to cover a handicap. So Man City money line, Liverpool handicap is 8-5 plus 163. And I said I've got 4 dogs to choose from, so I've launched them in an accumulator. Aston Villa, Fulham, Bournemouth, Leeds, 85-1. No pissing around. Anytime goal scorer. I stayed away from mushing Newcastle for various reasons. Didn't want to ruin Christmas. But I think Johan Wissa's due. It's his turn. Big nickel drop down. Wissa will start. They're a bit ponderous at the back. Wissa will get in behind and score. 7-1 first and last. 2-1 anytime, Baz.
I consider Wissa, actually. I think just whether he starts, given that Voldemort scored 2 last week, I think he probably will. But yeah, I like Wissa. Like it as a pick. My lock's going to be Liverpool win to 0 at evens. My dog's going to be Villa to beat Chelsea at 3-1. Scorer for me is Jared Bowen, 15-8 anytime, 6-1 first or last. My corned beef pie is both teams to score: Arsenal, Brighton, West Ham, Fulham, Palace and Spurs, 9-2. And steak and still naga, I've lent into those couple of dogs I liked, Villa and Leeds being the first 2. And then I tagged on another with a good chance, Newcastle to beat Man United. Newcastle, Villa, Leeds pays 30-1 is my steak and still naga.
Okay. Harry, you guessed that the best year, the best Christmas was 1994. No, 1984.
84.
Courtney's gone 1957, which is when Norwich won 18-0. Is that true? I'm trying to search it. Can't find it. So anyway, 1957 is incorrect. That is not the answer. Bootle's gone for 2002. That is incorrect. Swudge has gone for 1999, which was his best Christmas.
1940 was when Norwich won 14-0. 18-0, sorry.
Was it? Oh, come on, bleeding hell. 17 years out. Anyway, Barry, you were quite close. The best Christmas was 1994. Go to that. Right, Barry, I think I'm done. You got anything to tell the people before we let them go?
I told you before, come on, I'm coming down with another virus. This is
Barry.
probably the third one in December. There's a funny story around it, though. I'm all right. I'm fighting it off. I'm being a man.
You're all right.
Just like, I'm getting by. But I've got a little bit of a bad chest, bad throat. So I told my mother when I got here, I said, I'm coming down with another cold. She says, I've got some of that crystal meth.
Sorry?
She says, I've got some of that crystal meth you could have. Sorry, what did you say? And the kids just looked at me as if to say, wise man, I got crystal meth. It turns out what you meant is she had some menthol crystals. Like
right.
Water and
Yeah,
get eucalyptus in your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just the way she said, I've got some of that crystal meth. I was like, what do you mean? And and then she went and got them, menthol crystals. Yeah, not crystal meth. She's not brewing up stuff in the garage, unfortunately.
That's excellent. I saw in the Percy Arms, I was in the Percy Arms disco, Barry, with 6:10 on Saturday afternoon. Reggae disco, by the way. The Percy Arms reggae disco, 6:10. Saw my dad's mate from work, very old bloke who I used to go to the match with, would go. So I tapped him on the shoulder. He's called Alan as well, Alan Foster. I said, Alan, it's Malcolm Bamford. I said, it's Alan's son. And he was like, oh, hello, son. How are you? Blah, blah, blah. And we had a little chat. And then I mentioned my dad about him getting the bus home, not going to the match and stuff. And he said, oh, I'm pleased you brought him up because I was going to ask if he was dead. Just dead brazen. Like, I was like, no, he's still alive. And then his very next sentence was, anyway, are you still betting your tits off? I nearly fell over, like, fucking brilliant. So he didn't want to ask if my father was dead. And then, anyway, are you still betting your tits off? And I said, yes. And he went, so am I love it. So there you go. So, ladies and gentlemen, Alan Foster is still betting his tits off at the grand old age of 77. Right, I think we can go, Baz.
Yeah, Merry Christmas to one and all. It was a busy one tonight, so hope everyone has a good holiday.
Anybody looking for their Christmas Eve entertainment, might I advise you to tune in to full commentary of Burkina Faso v Equatorial Guinea at 12:30 tomorrow. The family are delighted. The Christmas shenanigans is put on hold so I can sit here and do the commentary on the AFCON. I've got a game at lunchtime on Boxing Day as well, Barry. And the day after when the in-laws wanted to visit, I'm doing Senegal, Gabon. There's Senegal, Congo. So there you go. Right, yeah. Thanks, everyone. We're not very Christmassy, but, try not to die out like that. And we'll come back probably we'll have to do it after the next round of games. It's a quick turnaround, isn't it? Monday to Tuesday. Have fun. Good luck with your bets, and we will see you all down the road. Cheers.